Good evening, everyone. Welcome to iWeather again. My weather page. I'm Ian Woods, the weather enthusiast, and I came on back on Saturday, or no, excuse me, this was Tuesday, or either Monday or Tuesday when I last did a video, and it was really quiet in the tropics. Big things coming. Things are changing. The dry air that's been dominating the Atlantic, and basically when you have dry air in the place, it causes the atmosphere to be stable. And when I mean stable, you don't have updrafts, you don't have thunderstorms developing, you don't have rising air over the tropics, and so tropical storms and hurricanes can't happen. Things are changing. I'm going to show you on the screen here as we are getting ready to kick off the hurricane season once again. And look here off the coast of Africa. Remember how I was showing you all a few days ago how, well, you can still see it out here. The air is still very dry. And I'll show you here just a second here with a drawing. You can still see a lot of dry air out there. A lot of it extending all the way out like this. I'm just going to write dry right here. Uh, Terrible drawing. But look at this. This is interesting, this feature right here. This is like a mid and upper level feature. This is like there was a nice mid-level rotation in here. There wasn't a defined area of low pressure at the surface over the Gulf, but it has an interesting twist to it. And that was some tropical moisture that was just moved into the Louisiana, Mississippi area. And it's very interesting because Hurricane Katrina made landfall right here in this general area, right about 19 years ago today. And so big things happened, and thankfully that didn't happen today. But I'm going to change the color and show you here real quick, if I can. Oh, yeah, that's right. There you go, Ian. Look at this right here. Now, over the last few days and weeks, this whole area down here has been suppressed and dry. But now look at it. Look at that. Look at this circle right. I'm circling in this area right here. That's thunderstorms popping up. That's blossoming and growing. Another thing right here. This is growing up. And then right here, this is the feature actually that they're talking about potentially developing by next Tuesday or Wednesday in this area right here where my cursor is just drawing that. So what's happening is we've been seeing a lot of activity in the Pacific Ocean right here where this arrow is. That I just drew. But now everything's kind of dying off in the Pacific. There's a large scale pattern called the Madden-Julian oscillation. And it's basically a large area where where the atmosphere over a large scale area is rising. The air is rising. You get thunderstorm development. And over in the Atlantic, over these last few weeks, the air has been sinking. And that sinking has been exacerbated because of the dry, dusty air that came off the coast of Africa. It does two things. It limits the amount of sunlight that can hit the ocean, and also it causes the air to sink, and it causes the mid-level of the atmosphere to the air to be warm. And you need cold air at higher levels to cause thunderstorm activity. You need cold air on top of warm air, and so when you have warm air on top of warm air, no thunderstorm development happens. It's just the atmosphere is capped. Nothing can happen. But now the lid is broken, and over here, over the Eastern Atlantic, where my cursor is, you got thunderstorms developing. So let me go over and show you here real quick, and another really cool map here of the whole northern half of the Earth. Basically, the United States and the Atlantic Ocean. This is the Atlantic Ocean right here. This is the Gulf of Mexico. This is the Pacific. And you can see, let me show you here real quick. This right here, you can see how there's a lot of cloud cover out here. This is moisture rising. Well, that's what's led to all the tropical development. But now you can see it's kind of quieting down. You don't see any spinning out here. And look at this. This is what I just pointed out on the other map. This is an area of spin. This is another potential area of spin. So is this. This is actually the area. I'm going to put a check mark by that. That is what's going to track off this way towards the northeastern Caribbean. And the meteorologists believe that this area right here is where tropical development could happen. And this is going to be the F name storm. I think it's Fabian. I don't know. I don't even keep track of the storm names. I just focus on the scientific part of it. And I should know the names, but I don't. I can't remember what the F name storm is this year. But the F name storm Hasn't traditionally been that bad. But let me show you else something real quick here. This is, let me get the red, hot red. This is still some mid-level dry air in here, but look at that. Anywhere where it's white, it's real moist. And so the atmosphere over the Atlantic Ocean has dramatically changed these last 3 days. It's gotten very moist at the mid-levels and the upper levels and the low levels. And so we're going to start seeing some development. Probably some development's going to happen out here, and we're going to get some development right in this area. And I hate to use the same color because it kind of defeats the purpose of what I'm trying to do. Another reason I wanted to share this map is this is the upper level water vapor imagery. This can kind of tell us where the jet stream is. And like I was saying in the last video, where the jet stream is highly determines where the hurricane tracks are going to be. And let me choose a different color. Let's go purple. No, purple won't be a good one because of the obvious. Let's do yellow. So let me choose the size and use this color here. Now, over the Western United States, we had a trough like this, but now the trough is kind of letting up a little bit. It's kind of evening out. We have a ridge here, and we have a little bit of troughiness right here coming off the East Coast. And basically the wind pattern is coming in like this. And we have basically an upper level ridge over this area, right over Texas, right? So you got high level winds blowing here like this and circling around like that. When you get a tropical system underneath a big H, like this, high pressure, that allows the thunderstorm hurricane to basically have a vacuum inside it, and it evaporates it evacuates the moisture, and it gets stronger, and it sucks in more surrounding air. And so what we have here is a more favorable pattern developing because this H right here is going to slide, I think, a little further east, and we'll have itself set up in this area. We'll have upper level high pressure like this right around the time that this tropical disturbance, which will become a tropical depression or storm probably somewhere in this area, and it's going to be setting under this favorable high pressure. And the computer models are showing that this is going to become a hurricane. There could be a hurricane threat for the whole state of Florida next week, as well as the northern Gulf Coast. And without further ado, let me show you the computer forecast model from the Canadian model. And I think it's already in motion here. Let's stop this thing. Stop it. So let's go to tonight or tomorrow, put it into motion again. And you can see this is August 30th, Friday. So I'm keep the date up here so you can see it. So there's some festering of thunderstorm activity right where my cursor is. But look at this. By Sunday, September 1st, we still have an area of low pressure developing. And then by Monday, Labor Day, we have a tropical depression probably moving through the islands. Now keep an eye on that. Okay, so we have Wednesday the 4th, Thursday the 5th, and you have a tropical storm here moving south of Hispaniola and then Friday the 6th, we have looks like a weak hurricane, a small hurricane moving south of Cuba. Now watch it. Watch where it goes. It's going up into the eastern Gulf of Mexico. Oh, and that's the end of the forecast model. Now let me show you what day that was. So this is the Canadian model. It shows 986 millibars. That's a strong Cat 1, weak Cat 2 hurricane coming out of the Caribbean over the northwestern tip of Cuba and into the southeastern Gulf. And we basically have a high pressure center off the East Coast. And so the general direction the storm will probably go will be to the north. Now, so if you're watching anywhere from the state of Florida entirely, or from the eastern Gulf Coast, from basically Louisiana on over to Florida, you might want to keep an eye on the weather here over the next 2 weeks because we could seriously have a hurricane threat. Now, let's watch and see what the GFS says. Now, how far out does it go? It goes through the 14th of September. We don't need to go that far. Let's go to, let's see. Well, we'll go out to tomorrow, Friday the 30th, and we'll put the map into motion. Now watch what happens down here. Watch this area right here where I'm spinning the cursor, and watch what happens over this region. So we have thunderstorm activity kind of festering around, and boom, around September 4th and 5th, it shows something pop up in the Caribbean. It comes into the Gulf. Similar intensity to the Canadian, but further west. Oh, and then it turns north up towards the Biloxi, Mobile area. Okay, so and these are going to definitely change, but basically what I'm trying to say, if for those of us who live in Florida and along the Gulf Coast from Louisiana eastward, we need to keep an eye on the weather for the week of September the 8th through the 12th. We could be threatened by possibly a major hurricane with the F name storm or G. So anyway, I just want to let you all know that, and I'll be obviously following this video up with a later report. So I hope you all have a good evening, and I will see you again soon.